स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दम् कृपापूर्णम् जगत्पतिम् हरिषड्वर्गजेतारम् नित्यानन्दगुरुम् भजे। स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दम् कृपापूर्णम् जगत्पतिम् हरिषड्वर्गजेतारम् नित्यानन्दगुरुम् भजे। स्वभावचिन्मय
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। I welcome you all with my love and respects. We'll enter into the yesterday's questions first, then today's questions. This person is asking, can person enlighten only with idol worship? Oh, just with idol worship. I can say, you can become enlightened just with idol worship, but you must be able to develop that depth just through the idol, which usually does not happen. After a certain level, when the depth has become very deep, automatically the person moves to the higher levels or the deeper levels. So, if you are really kind of a person to the depth of Ramakrishna, then of course Ramakrishna did not have anything else except that Kali idol. And finally Kali herself guided him to have the initiation from Totaburi. That's a very funny incident. Totaburi comes, is a great enlightened master, Avaduta, Paramahamsa, no cloth, complete naked sannyasi, who lives with the nature. He comes to Dakshineswar and sees Ramakrishna and says, I feel you are an intense seeker. I want to initiate you. Ramakrishna says, wait for a moment, I'll go and ask my mother and come back. Totaburi thought maybe he is staying with his mother and he wants his mother's permission before the initiation. Ramakrishna runs to Devi temple and asks Devi, stands in front of the Kali Murti for 2 minutes and comes back and says, yes, my mother told, you have come here just to initiate me, initiate me. Totaburi was shocked. He said, what are you saying? You said you will talk to your mother and come back, but I saw you went to temple and stood in front of Devi Murti and came back. This guy said, yes, she is my mother. I asked her just now and she told me you can initiate me. Totaburi was shocked. And during the initiation, Totaburi said that bring your mind to the ultimate consciousness with no form. Centralize your mind on the formless consciousness. He gave some technique, actually initiated him into a very powerful sannyas technique, the sannyas initiation. But Ramakrishna says, no, I am not able to bring myself to that emptiness because the moment I close my eyes, the Kali is there in front of me. Then Totaburi says, then go and talk to your mother again. And the very interesting thing, he goes to mother and asks Kali, what is this? He is telling me to bring my inner space to the silence and to the pure consciousness which is beyond form. But whenever I close my eyes, I see only you. Then Kali says, go and follow his advice. That is the right thing you have to do. That is the right thing you have to do. And the story says, she gives her own sword, the sword which she always carries, and says, cut my form, kill me. Understand, if you have that depth with an idol, then you don't need anything. Usually, when you have that depth with the idol, she herself will guide and take care that you become enlightened. That story says, she herself guided him, gave the sword to cut her herself, and Ramakrishna, when he again brought himself back to the pure consciousness beyond form, he saw the form of the Kali and used that sword mentally and cut the form. And the story says he became enlightened. Understand? If you have that depth, then naturally the deity herself, the Devi herself will guide you to the higher levels. When I stand in front of Krishna of Dwarika, I go speechless, thoughtless, and tears comes in my eyes. This does not happen in other kind of worship for me. It's perfectly alright. Even if it happens with one murti, that is okay. There is no problem. It's perfect. Just continue with that. That will take you to the deeper and deeper level. All I tell people, when you have the deep feeling of that one murti, just go with it. Have ishta means that completely centered on that deity. Don't bother about anything else. You don't have to have that same experience in front of every deity. No need. Same way, don't say all other deities are useless. All other things are useless. All other gods are useless. Or all other techniques are useless. That is the only thing you need to avoid. If that only can avoid, you will always be guided to higher and higher levels, deeper and deeper methods. All you need to have is depth, and the same way, openness for further updation. Openness for further experience. One small story about a Bhakta, a Vaishnava, Vishnu Bhakta. This guy is so devoted to Vishnu, day and night he will do puja. And he will pray to Vishnu day and night. But somehow, Vishnu knows this guy is not just having pure love. This guy is more like attached or fanatic. More than the dedication or connection with Vishnu, he has too much of exclusing. You understand? Sometimes your devotion may not be a positive attachment. It may be the negative hatred towards other deities. The exclusion may be looking like a devotion. Anyhow, this guy was continuously praying, but Vishnu never gave darshan. And very funny thing, always with attachment, the problem is, if the other person does not respond, the whole your so-called love will turn as hatred. And this fellow's love became hatred now. Such a long time I prayed to you, you did not give darshan. I think you are useless, I'll choose some other god. Who I'll choose? Your enemy. Shiva is your enemy, supposed to be. Because these guys have their own idea. Shiva must be your enemy. I'll choose Shiva now. I'll not worship you anymore. And this guy put the Vishnu Murti to that one corner and cut hold of Shiva Murti and started doing worship. And he put the incense. When he put the incense, he saw, because of wind, the incense smell was going towards the Vishnu Murti. He got so annoyed, so irritated, he just jumped and caught hold of the Vishnu's nose. You should not smell my incense anymore. You had your share enough. You should not smell incense anymore. And now it is only for Shiva. Now I am trying with Shiva, experimenting with Shiva. I don't want you to take any of my smell. Half of the smell will go away to you. Then I may not get the full result. The moment he was holding the Vishnu's nose tightly, the story says suddenly Vishnu appeared to bless him. When Vishnu appeared, all his anger went away. He fell at the feet of Vishnu and cried and started asking, I prayed to you so many years, but you never appeared in front of me. Now I am working completely against you. And not only working against you, I am holding your nose so that you will not have smell of my incense, which I am giving for Shiva. And Vishnu says beautifully, all these years you worshipped me, true, but you never felt I am really living in this deity only when you started hating me and only when you held my nose that I should not have the smell of the incense. You sincerely from the deeper consciousness felt that I am in this deity. I am in this deity. Your hatred was deeper than the devotion. Your hatred could shake your being deeper than devotion. It may be hatred, but negatively, at least negatively, you had a deep faith for those few moments. I am available in the deity. I am there in that form. So that faith, I have to honor that faith, so I am appearing, I am blessing you. Understand? In this case, the fanaticism has paid. It has paid, but it does not pay always. So all you need to do, when you melt, go deep, be with it, but no need to hate or exclude other things. Be ready for deeper and deeper experiences or deeper and deeper explosions. Where is the center of decision? Is it I or the desires and knowing? First thing, there is no center for decision. Understand, you are just a calamity. Happened to you, that's all. There is no center as you think. You are just a chaos. That is why wherever you go, you create that. Understand, be very clear. It may be hurting you, but the truth is there is no center in you. You are just chaos. That is why, actually, that is the reason you have such mood swings. Such mood swings. Because if you have a center at all, you will not have the mood swings. The very existence of mood swings shows you don't have center. You don't have center. Just your desires and knowing only makes decisions, takes decisions. That is why Shankara says, Satsangatve nitsangatvam, nitsangatve nirmogatvam, nirmogatve nischaladatvam, nischaladatve jivan mukti. He says, Satsangatve nitsangatvam. When you are sitting with the truth, with the master, the words which are given by him to you takes you to the real center. You see, if you already have a kind of a center, then you don't need master. You don't have chaos. Now because you don't have the center, you have mood swing, you have chaos, anything which comes up inside your system very prominently, strongly rules you. If you go and sit in a place where the fear is put inside, some horror movie, see the horror movie for 10 days, 11th day you will see devil or ghost. Because 10 days you are meditating on ghost. Why will you not see him? You will see him. You will see suddenly that day night only, you will feel like drinking water. When you go to the kitchen, you will see suddenly the screen moving by itself. Or a black cat jumping. Something, when you are meditating on it, you will see. When you go to the master's presence, or listening to the right words, understand, the satsanga needs to nischanga, means to the silence. Because for those few moments, he sends you back to your center. He puts you back to your center. And nischanga needs to nischala, means the non-moving or non-disturbed center. Achala means which does not move. Nischala means which beyond moving and non-moving, means the pure space. Nischalatva naturally needs to Jivan Mukti means the living enlightenment. Understand? As on now, decisions are made only in desires and knowing, not in center. You don't have center. You will have center only when the master puts you back to the center. What does enlightenment means? Being aware or doing the right things or surrendering to the Almighty. Understand? Enlightenment means all these three. As long as you think all these three are three different things, you are not enlightened. When you realize all these three are one, you are enlightened. Being aware, doing right things, surrendering to Almighty. All these three happens at a time spontaneously. When you are aware, you already surrendered to the Almighty and you will always be doing the right thing. And he is repenting about the normal people getting around in this mad world. Only masters like you get to enjoy the space of enlightenment. Understand, it is not monopoly. It is not surely monopoly. You can enjoy. It is available to you. But if you choose the mad world, then you are responsible. Surely not. And you say about taking care of family. You don't know how many families I am taking care. You have only one family. I have 300 families. Understand? 300 family. And even one family brings their problem one day to me. It takes one full year for me to settle. So, please do not think I don't have a family. I have too many families around the world and continuously I need to attend. One more thing. Somebody asked me the other day, Swamiji, after all you left the house to become a sannyasi and now around you such a big city is developed. Why did you take up this responsibility, Swamiji? I told them, just to tell the world, make a clear statement. Enlightenment is possible even in the mad world. When you decide to radiate, not only you will be living in ecstasy, whoever comes around you, you will add that to them. Do not complain your family is responsible for you not becoming enlightened. No, you are responsible for them not becoming enlightened. Always be happy is one of the significant sign of enlightenment. But can you please explain what other signs are there for an enlightened soul? Understand, I can put it in this way. Always be intense is the main sign of the enlightened master. So when you see that, you understand it as a bliss or happiness. To tell you honestly, I myself do not feel something like I am separately being happy or separately being blissful. All I know is I am clear, something extraordinary is constantly happening intensely in me. That's all. Only an outsider feels it is a bliss. It is not even bliss. It is the quality which cannot be described. That's why they say in Sanskrit, Nirvigalpa, Niranjana, Nirabhasa, means there is no movement, there is no wave, there is no disturbance. Even the idea of bliss according to you can be like a movement, but there is no movement. When the movement happens, it can be called as bliss. When there is no movement, when there is a pure Nirvigalpa, when you see from outside, it looks like a bliss. There is a beautiful word in Sanskrit. Achala Vigraha and Sachala Vigraha. Achala Vigraha means the deity which does not move. The God statues in the temple. Sachala Vigraha means the deity which moves, the enlightened master's bodies. Sachala Vigrahas, only the person who sees from outside feels that Sachala Vigraha is in bliss. But actually, I am in the state something can be called beyond bliss. Even the idea of bliss you will remember as a big wide smile. No, relax. It's not just big wide smile. It cannot be described. It is pure Nirvikalpa, Niranjana, Nirabhasa, which cannot be conceived by mind. Tomorrow Mahadeva talks about this. So tomorrow's technique will be related to this. Maybe that time I will deeply explain or will deeply try to understand. From yesterday all the techniques are almost Ananda Sutras. Means now Mahadeva is coming to end. We have only 7 more days. We have only few more sutras. Anyhow, as on now, the remaining sutras which I will be talking, everything is Ananda Sutra. Mahadeva is taking us to a deeper and deeper levels, breaking new parts and giving new clicks. Tomorrow's technique, he says, enlightenment is not even bliss. He is breaking all the doors. He is not even opening, he is just breaking. Even if he opens, there is every possibility because of your foolishness you may close it again. So he is not even interested in opening and leaving it. No, he just breaks it. So that once for all, it can never be closed again. You don't have to bother about. You don't have to have the fear. It may get closed, who knows. So you are asking other significance, other important things. I can say, any significance or any sign I explain on which your mind grasps will become a lie. Will become a lie. Only one sign I can say, you will have some deeper click and you will have a strong feeling connected. Just try to avoid coming here after 2-3 days, you will not be able to avoid. Then you are really experiencing the enlightened master's presence. That's all I can say. Anything else will become a lie or duplication.
Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham.